Hi everyone. Welcome to Maddie's Community Conversations. Happy New Year. We are so glad you could be here with us today and we can kick off the new year together. I'm one of your hosts, Sheila Kukan, and I'm really excited to welcome Miguel Ruelas as my co-host for January. Miguel is an industry leader with over 15 years of experience in animal welfare and social justice, having worked at national organizations including the ASPCA and CARE. Today, Miguel is a community resources manager at Pasadena Humane and is also one of the founders and directors of Patitas y Palabras Translation Services and serves on the board of directors for Heart LA. Miguel's experience in animal welfare is grounded in a human-centered, equity-driven, and community-focused approach. There is truly no one else I would rather kick off 2026 with, so thank you so much, Miguel, for being here, and please join me in welcoming Miguel as our co-host.
Ah, thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you so much for having me. And I did a thing. Okay. I think I did like an emoji thing. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here and Happy New Year to everyone. I'd love to kick it off with the question of the day. So the question of the day is to tell us a topic you'd like to hear about in this new year, in this 2026. So please go ahead and put those in the chat or share them. I know Sheila, you and I had talked about like if we don't like how 2026 is going so far as of January 5th, like throw it out the window. Lunar New Year's on its way. Many cultures celebrate like spring equinox as a new year, so there's plenty of opportunities for a new year. It doesn't have to be right now. So keep on keeping on. Let's see if there's any.
I agree. I'm definitely going into this year trying not to put so much pressure on myself with this January 1st date. So we get redos, but let's see what folks are saying.
Let's see, what are some creative ways orgs are securing veterinarians? I know I've heard a lot of folks are struggling to get some vets in, for sure. Shonyae said free educational and training resources for staff in building programs based off those plans. Yeah. Do you have any, Sheila?
I always I love the community conversations and just focusing on community and really defining what community means because I think for a long time it's been approached as something that's external to ourselves, but truly it's very inclusive and it's something that we're reaching within. So I would love to see some calls tailored towards that. What about you?
I've been super into, well, data collection. I know is kind of always comes up, but like really seeing how we can measure ways that we're impacting communities, I think, and more like new creative ways that's not just like tally something, I'd love to hear more ways that we can collect data points, especially for community programs.
Yes. I like Anna's recommendation too, insurance and liability for rescue organizations. I think insurance in general and how just in various realms it ties into, maybe landlord topics and things like that. Like it's kind of behind the scenes everywhere. So it'd be interesting to hear about it from a sheltering perspective, from a landlord perspective, all those things. I think we have a screen share.
Oh.
Um, let's see. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
I'll read, let's see. So not buying animals from backyard and more adoption. So increasing adoptions for sure. Always a fun topic.
This is great. Yes, folks, please keep them coming in the chat and we can also have them on Maddie's Pet Forum. We'll go ahead and our team that puts together these topics and conversations will definitely take these into account. Hopefully we can get some of these in. And now if you have any national updates, please go ahead and drop them in the chat as well. And we'll share those on Maddie's Pet Forum.
Cool. So should I hop into introducing our speakers for today? This is
Let's
very
do it.
exciting. Yay! All right. Um, I didn't know that I would be hosting this call and that Shonyae would be on here. I've known Shonyae for a few years and got to meet Lulu recently, so super excited. And so Shonyae Johnson, full name, Shonyae Johnson, just kidding, I don't know your middle name, is the Senior Manager of Learning and Development at Operation Kindness, and Lulu Ochoa is the Animal Care Operations Coordinator at Wallis Annenberg Pet Space. Shonyae Johnson, I love this, was born into this world loving animals. She grew up watching them in family homes, community dogs in the street, community cats hunting mice, and junkyard and guard dogs working in the community. She was excited when she became old enough to start volunteering with LA County Animal Care and Control at the age of 16. There, she strongly fell in love with animal behavior. For more than a decade, Shonyae has grown from volunteer to holding many titles such as dog trainer, behavior coordinator, behavior manager, and a few gigs in between. Through time, Shonyae has gained knowledge and experience. She's a certified trainer through CCPDT, certified in animal shelter management from University of the Pacific, fear-free shelter certified, and an IAABC supporting member. She's presented and participated in workshops, panels, and discussions with organizations such as AWA, Cal for All Animals, Humane World for Animals, and Maddie's Fund. Yay, Shonyae. Lulu Ochoa has been with Wallis Annenberg Pet Space since 2017, starting as an animal care and adoption specialist and promoted to animal care operations coordinator through her hard work and dedication. Lulu continues to contribute to programs that make a positive difference for animals and the people who love them. Lulu enjoys collaborating across teams and contributing to projects that matter. Lulu's a respected and innovative leader at Pet Space, sharing her hands-on experience and creativity with her teams and colleagues. Please join me in welcoming Shonyae and Lulu.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Do you want us to just hop in, Miguel? All right. Appreciate it. Miguel and Sheila, absolutely adore y'all. Thank you so much for hosting this call. Helps me feel so much more confident and comfortable. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Let me know if everyone is able to see it. Good. Okay. I'm like, I can't hear anything, but I see Sheila's thumbs. So I'm guessing we're good. So today our presentation, Get Them Out Even for a Little, is gonna focus on how we can get our dogs out of their kennels and how that impacts our shelter operations, our adoptions, our community connections, and so much more. So as everybody just gave us the grand intro, I'm Shonyae and I get to present with Lulu. I got to see Lulu in action this year, and this girl is killer at breaking down silos and getting the team together to be able to like really be impactful in their programs. Again, Lulu is from Annenberg, Wallis Annenberg Pet Space in California, and I am from Operation Kindness located in Texas. Okay.
Okay, so today we will be talking about why kennel time matters and why it should be implemented in organizations. We'll highlight the operational benefits that come from getting our dogs out, benefits of playgroup, and what alternatives we've used for those that do not qualify. And we'll show how, I think my favorite, how staff have become empowered and build confidence through this initiative. And we'll also share some success stories and resources, toolkits, and citations. Okay. So out of kennel and time and why it matters. Playgroups, as we all know, provide physical movement and offer social enrichment. And they decrease negative behaviors, which to the right here, Manny is a great example because he's a little nutty and he's sweet, but he benefits a lot from playgroup. And then short-term outings and fostering, real life experiences, socialization and exposure. They get the best sleep ever. To the left is Hazel out in her foster home. Here she was kennel crazy, just wanting to get out and be with people. And in her foster home, she was super sleepy and content. Also reduces cortisol levels during sleepovers and helps support assessment and adoptions, which is, I would say, my biggest takeaway. Okay. And then why it matters for the staff. This is my staff here during oh my gosh, a pack walk with a ton of dogs, big, little, and medium, like we like to call them. It improves staff and volunteer handling skills, improves the workflow and efficiency. The staff supports playgroups, also like provide better quality of life. It gives us better behavioral insight and helps make adoption matches, which is super helpful for us. And it also increases morale and decreases compassion fatigue. So it gives everyone a break from cleaning or dealing with poop or this or that. And it just gives them a moment to just be with the dogs. Lastly, it allows us to better assess dog-to-dog concerns. Okay. And then speeding up daily routine. Thanks to Shonyae's help, we've figured out how to get all of our dogs out in playgroup. So playgroup has helped the staff get through daily routines a lot quicker. Our building is very unique in the way that we have to walk through multiple areas to get to the yards, which ends up taking us more time getting the dogs out. The staff have now found their flow and need little to no direction. And one great example that we literally just saw with Playgroup was our holiday party, which ran 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on a Thursday, which is usually when the staff is handling midday outings. So instead of 10 dogs needing to be taken out, after the party, 8 of them got to join playgroup, which also freed up the morning staff to handle other tasks or sick animals before the end of their shift, which, as we all know, little kittens with ringworm need some attention and some playtime too. So that was really great to see. And then growth for staff. One of my favorites, this is one of my staff, Andy, with our dog Whisper. She wrote up a little story of how she's seen improvement not only in our workflow, but in herself. She said, watching our dogs participate in playgroups, tandem walks, and weekly pack walks has been incredibly rewarding. These experiences have helped build confidence not only in the dogs, but in me as well. Dogs like Andrew, who is often shy and shut down on his own, truly come to life in playgroup. His personality shines in a way we don't always see in the kennel. Through leading playgroups, I've gained confidence in my own skills. When challenges arise, I'm able to stay calm, respond quickly, and communicate clearly with my team. Growth I didn't have when we first started, when stressful moments would often cause me to freeze. So I've seen huge growth in her, and I'm super proud of Andy.
Okay, this one's on me. So, we see organizational benefits, and like Lulu kind of touched on, of getting our dogs out of their enclosures. That is one of the biggest things that we focus on. We maximize the time that they have out. So instead of a short walk, we're able to take them out to the yard and allow them to stay out there for longer periods of time. After our behavior team does our main assessment, if you don't have a behavior team, I've worked at LA County, in Dallas Animal Services, where we used our title was animal care attendant before we got a behavior team. So animal care attendants are trained both at Operation Kindness. They were trained at Dallas Animal Services and at Los Angeles County. Keep in mind, Los Angeles County is around like 50, I think, thousand intake a year. Dallas Animal Services sits around 30, and Operation Kindness sits around 6. So all types of organizations can implement these programs, and I'd be happy to help y'all get started. So our behavior team does our general assessment, and then they move over to our animal care team, who then does our social intolerant dog groups. We do groups in about 2 or 3. Our animal care staff were trained to run, assist, and to report behaviors that they see to our behavior team. This allows our behavior team to really focus on those pets that need that intervention. In this little image here, let me go back and then go forward again. This is the recap that our behavior team sends out. They'll say what new assessments came out, how many dogs came out for the day, and it helps us understand like how our flow is going. So yeah, it helps our team because they're able to get those dogs out and get their behavior assessments done quickly. Okay, it's super motivating for staff. I think one of the biggest things that I love to see and to follow up on is how is your staff feeling about playgroup? Lulu talked about the confidence and like they get a break from, picking up poop. But these are just some of the messages that we get from our staff when we post videos, how much they love seeing those dogs that they're caring for have this experience and show, progress in playgroup. So that really helps keep our staff motivated. And again, the culture of, I think, our organization really shifted when we were able to show them the positivities of playgroup. The videos and photos that we get are great for marketing. So whether it's going online or it is going, like we're talking to an adopter and I pull out my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this cute video. It really does help with that marketing placement and adoptions. Okay, really quickly. So I just pulled some data so you can kind of see what it looks like for our entire population of dogs that we have coming through. So this is the week. This is done by week, so you can see how many dogs are getting out. This is each day. So December 15th, December 22nd, December 29th, and January 4th. Total dogs we had eligible for playgroup was 39. And the team just on that day got all 37 dogs that were eligible. Out, two of them were disqualified for medical reasons. Our team does do medical play groups. So dogs like URI or I think we had a ringworm group at one point in time. Those dogs can still come out in group, but certain things are ineligible like surgeries or, active heartworm treatments. So I just kind of wanted to put this data out there that a lot of your dogs can get in playgroup. Don't get hung up on like, I don't know if we can get these dogs together. We hardly ever have altercations. I think it's like 7% out of like the year or something crazy. So yeah. And that was with 1 to 3 team members a day. And that was our behavior team, animal care team, and volunteers. Oh, this one's me. Dogs that are not eligible for playgroup can still get out of their kennel. So Dallas Animal Services and Operation Kindness, as well as Annenberg Pet Space, have other opportunities for these dogs. Like Lulu talked about, there's pack walks in which the staff members are taking these dogs out for individual walks, but they're all together. Dallas Animal Services and Operation Kindness had a run club. So it was like these pack walks. Volunteers would come take the dogs out for these pack walks and then bring them back. Again, Dallas Animal Services is 40,000 animals a year. Operation Kindness is 6. It can be at both organizations. Tandem walks are another alternative where dogs just get to walk in pairs or small trios. This is helpful for dogs that haven't been able to integrate into playgroup but are still appropriate around other dogs. Again, it just gives them a buddy. We often use this as an assessment tool for playgroup as well, or to help transition them into playgroup. And then coffee trips. These are my favorite. Staff members, volunteers, community members will also just take the dog out for a break, right? Like we would do lunch breaks at our organization. We take them to go get a pup cup. But there's also daycations with your community. I cannot push enough. Trust your community. We trust volunteers. We trust adopters. We need to trust our general community members as well to open up your shelter and start to consider if daycations and breaks are something for you. We see benefits with photos, videos, staff morale, and those coffee trips with their adoptions vest really get people talking, even if it's not to adopt. They post it online. They tell their friends and family how cute the dog in the vest was. Okay, so just a little bit more data about Operation Kindness as they launched their dog field trip program. Even throughout the month of November and December, where we're really busy, we did have a lot of people still wanting to do the field trips. So this is 66 unique instances. So 66 unique dogs went out for, it was like 100 and something trips total. Let me see, I think I have my I can't add that great, y'all. I'm sorry. Math was not my forte. But it was over 100 field trips over this 4 month period. And what I really like about this is, yes, we get photo, yes, we get video, but we get these really happy stories from our community members that take the dogs out. So like Loki, they said that he was a very good boy. They let us know that he was driven and trainable. He was playful. He didn't dart out the door. They also let you know that he wasn't so great around his water bowl towards her other dog. And he thought about counter surfing, but she stopped it, and he also liked to drink out of the toilet. So not only does it give us those positive attributes for the dogs, but it also helps us explain to people of like how the dog might be in their house. Your adopters that are coming in have a vision, right? I want to take my dog camping. I want to sleep on the couch on weekends. And these notes are really helpful for achieving that. This will be posted so y'all can read all the other cute stories or click the link to see Leilani's TikTok. But yeah, cute things that our day fosters, our community members have posted when they take a dog out for a vacation. Hey, Lulu.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about some alternatives, so being fun. So this is Goldie. She came in with the rest of her litter mates earlier last year, I believe. And she had a whole big old surgery done to her, which then needed a correction, plus a pin explant. So she was just out of the game for a while. So Goldie spent weeks on medical restrictions, which is especially a tough experience during her puppyhood. Sorry. So to support her well-being, actually, our director of finance, Terry, asked us if she could take Goldie into her office during the week when she was here. She wanted to offer her a calm exposure to people and sounds, and keeping her to a smaller area so that she could still stretch her legs, took her out for short outings, and even connected with our trainers to come up with a training plan on what she can help with and what Goldie could work on. These quiet moments away from the kennel helped Goldie stay engaged, supported her social development, and made her recovery period more comfortable. So even though it's just a small office and she's not really playing or going to playgroup, anything like that, it was still very beneficial, Goldie, to be with someone in an office where there's a lot of noises happening instead of being in her kennel all by herself, not being exposed to many things. During playgroup, she would join us for like maybe 5 minutes of the walk, and then Terry and Goldie would turn back and go back to the office. So she was still getting some exposure to humans and other dogs, which was super important for us. Okay, and Banjo. So Banjo arrived to PetSpace with a really bad case of pneumonia. So he was actually placed in isolation during recovery. Banjo is the type of dog that was very high energy when he first came in, very playful. And then once he started getting, you know, feeling way more sick and all of that, we noticed that he was looking a little bit sad. But once he started feeling better, we realized that he still needed some playtime and outdoor time. And since when we would take him out for walks, the staff would notice that he would start coughing a lot. So they just closed off our smallest yard and labeled it Banjo's yard so that he could have time to stretch his legs and play a couple times a day and not be stuck in isolation all day. The staff is super sweet and had, excuse me, had his love of toys in mind. So they always kept a ton of new toys in rotation for him and made sure to keep him out for as long as possible. So you'll see Banjo in that yard there, and then with our animal care lead, Diana, in the other picture. Okay, so Blossom is one of our success stories when it comes to playgroups, coffee shops, and tandem walks. Before all of this, Blossom would stop and fixate on dogs during walks. she would have that like pity scream and howl to her that made her sound like a monster. Um, and she would just plant herself and would not move. So we were like, great, someone's gonna walk by and just see us kind of like dragging this dog or forcing her to move. So with Blossom, we began with one-on-one introductions using a muzzle. She was muzzle trained, picked it up very quickly, didn't mind it, and it made everyone feel more comfortable with her introductions and all of that. That was followed by some exposure through playgroups and tandem walks and pack walks to help her build appropriate social skills. So we saw her going from screaming, yelling, planting herself on the floor, to there's a dog right there. I don't really care. I'm going to focus on my food and my handler. And it got to the point where now she joins mixed sized pack walks without reactivity. She at first would start pinning down some dogs, but she doesn't do that anymore, which is nice because she's a big girl. She enjoys gentle play, especially with her best friend Esmeralda, who's at the top right corner. I feel like Esmeralda has helped Blossom grow a lot and practice good behaviors. Esmeralda is like a social butterfly. She's one of our helper dogs here. So, yeah, it was really nice to see that happen. And we have Whisper. Whisper, at first as well, would fixate on other dogs, especially small dogs, during walks. It was very difficult for her to stay engaged and keep moving. She wasn't as street motivated as Blossom was, so that was a little bit harder. We practiced the same sort of intervention with Whisper. Started with calm tandem walks, followed by structured play pack walks and low-key social yard sessions. We found that Whisper could walk around a small dog, but just didn't want the small dog engaging with her, which is okay. We also practiced the using the muzzle with her, and after a while, she could be in a pack walk full of like 10 other dogs, and she wouldn't really care. Same as Blossom, she would stop. She would keep moving along and not have that crazy growly bark to her. We found that she enjoys one-on-one sessions rather than a big hefty play group, which is fine. We still make sure to expose her just to one or two other dogs that will help keep her working on her behaviors. And then Miss Millie. Millie started off with horrible leash skills, barrier and leash skills. We found that it was due to excitement, but it didn't come off that way. She sounded very angry and scary. Very overstimulated around dogs who had any other barriers around them. We started her in playgroup with kind of like our very social dogs, like Esmeralda. She actually showed us that she has great social skills. She's very sweet. She adjusts her play to whatever dog she's with. And we saw that the tandem walks, pack walks, were going to be a little bit harder for her compared to being in playgroup. So we worked on using a lot of distance, redirection, and positive reinforcement. She's now able to stay more engaged and calm on walks, and she continues building confidence while successfully socializing in playgroups. So she's gotten over that sounding like a monster when she first comes into the yard and sees another dog across the barrier. So she's doing a lot better. In the top right photo, that's her with three other dogs. She's playgroup queen.
I'm smiling so hard because like I got to see these dogs in action. And I think Lulu, I think both had been there over 12 months, right? Um, um, both of the two pitties have been there over 12 walks, or
Yes.
sorry, over 12 months.
Blossom
So
and Whisper. Yes.
yes, Blossom and Whisper. So seeing them out in the yard was just, I mean, those girls kicked butt. The team was absolutely amazing. So I just have to call that out. Okay, so this is Cookies and Cream. Cookies and Cream was one of the cases from Operation Kindness Humane Society. She initially had barrier and leash reactivity on walks at the fence line when she was adjacent. As you can see, like we have yards that are next to each other. She would have reactivity if she was left in the yard around another dog and in her kennel to dogs passing. So initially, she was a dog that wasn't expected to do well in playgroup, right? She had this really big energy. This girl was also solid, through and through. She had that big, bully look. So we knew that we needed to fast track her through because of the fact that she was going to be a more difficult dog to place, and we didn't want her to get bottlenecked. So we did intervene with tandem walks. And Christina, the difference between tandem walks and pack walks is really about how many dogs you have. So usually tandem walks are those smaller paired walks, and then the pack walks are like a large pack of individuals that are coming out together. And then oftentimes with tandem walks, they're doing like a lot of cutesy and interactions, and we use them for assessments as well. We also did structure fence greetings to where when a person had her in the yard, she was allowed to greet at the fence, but we'd call her back so she wouldn't get overly stimulated. We did participation in playgroups. We also started with the muzzle on Cookies and Cream, and then she graduated to not needing that. Her successful outcome was that she did get adopted. Shortly after, we were able to highlight that she did well with other dogs. And yeah, I think this video, let me see if it'll play. So yeah, up top, you can see her with some of our other rowdy boys. With our rough and rowdy groups, we do try to keep them a little smaller because it's like wrangling toddlers with caffeine. So. Okay, this one is one of my favorite. This is Tater Tot. That was the name that she was given by her adopters. Tater Tot was previously Tatum. Tatum, when I first got to Operation Kindness Humane Society, was a dog that they said could not be around other dogs. Tatum could not. She was way too reactive. They didn't feel safe. So this is a dog that our behavior team would work with. This wouldn't be a dog that our animal care team would work with. So this is kind of that difference of if you have a playgroup staff and an animal care staff, that'll determine how much individual plans you can, build out. So just kind of keep that in mind. So when I first came, she is not going into yard. I said, okay, let's see what we can do. She did not do well at the fence greeting. She still had barrier activity and a defensive posture at the first assessment. So we started with tandem walks. She got lunch trips where she got pup cups. We did structured fence greetings with other dogs. And we did individual dog to dog introductions based off of the body language that she gave us towards the other dog. So did Tater Tot love all dogs? No. Was she more selective? Yes. So what we did is we found smaller opportunities to engage her with other dogs. So Tatum was adopted with this super cute senior pitty, and they went home to live happily ever after. Alrighty. One of the things that I really want to push is to let your adopters know, or let your fosters and volunteers and community members know where they can go to take dogs, right? Like you hand them a dog and they're like, okay, what do I do now? So Bring Fido is a website that you can go to. You can type in your location and it'll give you dog-friendly places like Half Price Books and Lowe's and different restaurants that you can take them to. It also has like activities if there's dog events that are going on as well. Another option is Sniff Spot. I promise y'all, I don't get paid for these. Another option is Sniff Spot. It is where you can rent like a private dog park area for just you and your dog or your foster dog or your vacation dog. They do have fenced in areas or non-fenced areas, so you can have your dog off leash. There is a cost. It's about $5 to $15 per dog per hour. So this is just an alternative option if, a volunteer or foster wanted a place to go. Dallas Animal Services is great. They have a bunch of locations listed on their website for places that you can take your dogs to go. They also give you this really cute dog backpack that has its dog leash. It has some treats so that when it's time to pick up, you can just have your person check in with you. They've already filled out our foster form online. They come right in. We go ahead and send them right through with their bag. So just something to keep in mind that these alternate options exist for dogs that don't do well in playgroup. No, go back. Okay, these are some of the resources that we wanted to share. We have fear-free shelters, which focuses on behavior enrichment. That says enrichment twice. It's behavior enrichment and intake processes. Fear-free shelters is free, so I do recommend checking that out. We have Dogs Playing for Life. They offer free online resources for dog training, as well as Shelter Playgroup Alliance. We have, of course, Maddie's University, which I absolutely adore. They have foster courses and short-term foster for like daycations. They have two different course tracks that you can check out and see how you can implement that program. Texas Unites for Animals conference is coming up in April. We have amazing sessions that are coming. Registration opens in April, so if you're local, check that out. We have Annenberg, Pet Space, as well as Operation Kindness Humane Society's links, and then the BIPOC and Animal Wellbeing Group. That is a support group and a opportunity for BIPOC members in the industry to connect. There is our info if y'all want to reach out to us. Again, this will be posted on the forum, so you can check back there as well. And thank y'all for having us. Here's my favorite video of my favorite yard ever. I don't know if y'all caught that intro. I'm gonna go back just so you can see it again, because I was talking. Look, it's just my favorite group of all time. So we have, go back to this one. We have large groups, small groups. It doesn't matter the size of your organization. We can absolutely implement these processes. Rely on your community members. They want to come and take dogs out. They want to come and take those cute photos and help be a part of the community that gets pets placed. Trust your volunteers. They can help you in playgroup. Trust your team. They want to do the work and they learn quickly. Again, it saved us time on cleaning. I think when I was there with Lulu, like 90 minutes were shaved off. So yeah. We'll open it up for Q&A. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Let's stop that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shonyae and Lulu, for that. That was really amazing. I really love the focus and kind of like the beginning around the morale boost that it is for the people that are working at, in these spaces. That's, compassion fatigue and all the things is so prevalent in our industry. So that's such a big deal that you can do both, right? The pets and the people. But thank you so much. There are a few questions, so I'll go through those. I know that you answered some of them, but I think it would be great to say them out loud to make sure other folks can see the answers too. So the first one I see is from Emily Wood, and she's asking about where do you track some of the when you take dogs out? Is that tracked via Chameleon or Pet Point, or where do the reports come from?
Yeah, so we currently use Pet Point for our reporting, so everything is automated. Our list of eligible dogs go out, and then our behavior team will put in a test to say, like, we've had this many dogs go out, or who is ineligible to go out. We use Slack, so every day that recap is posted in Slack. If you need to search back, you can see all of the notes and everything in one place. But if you have a software like Pet Point, and I've used Chameleon as well, you can automate your eligible process, ineligible process, and your note recap process, as well as your tracking. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry.
I don't know if Emily wants to.
Okay. If not, Emily, feel free to reach out to me directly at that email.
Yes, it answers my question. I'd love for a sharing of the reports if you can do that on the Maddies.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So the next question I see is from is there a standardized follow-up / feedback questionnaire used for when folks take dogs out?
Did you want to take that, Lulu, or you want me to jump in?
Yeah, so at the moment, we only have fosters and staff that are taking our dogs out. We're working on a system to where we can have people just drop by and take a dog out for a day or a couple of hours. With our fosters having our dogs out, they usually send us a report at the end of their foster period. Our fosters also just like to like send us photos and updates every day, which we love. And sometimes like I'm bad at just being like, how's it going? Like, what's the update? I'm just like nosy, but they all love sharing updates and stuff like that. We keep a lot of our notes and tracking in Shelter Love. Shelter Love has been super helpful at note taking, playgroup stuff, and all of that. And we're currently working on having our playgroup iPad so that the leader outside is pretty much taking notes while they have their runners and all of that, getting dogs in and out. So yeah, Shelter Love's been super helpful. The staff here also loves to communicate, so they'll like to send an email out saying, "Oh my gosh, Blossom met so and so today, and she did so well." So lots of talk during our daily huddles as well.
Yeah, we do some similar things as well. We have a foster return form. So when that daycation happens, they do have the foster return form, and it does ask questions, and that gets put into Pet Point as well. A lot of times they'll send an email. They'll just send our foster team an email with photos and videos and things like that along the way. So our fosters will transfer that information if it comes via email, but we do have a foster form. Google Forms, Microsoft Forms, all of those are very easy to just drop in. I don't know if we still do. I'd have to check with our foster team, but I know we had an iPad, and if the person didn't fill it out before, I think they were able to either have them fill it out just then or write it down while they were taking their process.
Thank you. Whew, I'm sorry. I think a skunk just came in and it's taken over my office a little bit. So the next question I see is our local shelter doesn't allow volunteers to take their dogs off property because of insurance reasons. How do you deal with any liability insurance needs?
So I can take that one since we're using community members, volunteers, and fosters. Let me preface this with saying I did not write the agreement. I'm also not a legal anything. Um, so please take this with just my anecdotal experience. Consult with your legal team. Um, our day fosters have the same process as our foster. So whether you're fostering for a day, 10 days, 20 days, etc., you do have the same um, waiver type situation as well. So our daycations are considered actual fosters, so we still have that same legal protection as we do with our fosters. So I would say look at your foster agreement, look at other foster agreements, and see what language they're including and how it would apply to your program and your dogs. But yeah, that's just how we navigate it. It's the same. We also are really selective about the dogs that we send out. So we do prioritize longer stays. And there are some behavior cases that'll go out, like a dog that's jumpy or a dog that's just working on confidence building. But if that dog is not ready for adoption, we wouldn't place it out into a daycation or a community setting like that. So also assess your population and what dogs you are selecting. And then, of course, that leads into what dogs we are placing, but that is a whole different conversation.
Oh, Shonyae, where are you located? And do you do consults for county shelters?
I am in Texas. I do travel. I love municipal shelters. They're my absolute favorite. Like I said, I started in LA County as a little baby animal care tech, and I hold true to that. So absolutely, please reach out to me.
Perfect. Can you talk about how you worked with your medical teams to implement these programs?
Yeah. Um, so all of the teams at Operation Kindness Humane Society are absolute fire. Like they are absolutely amazing. I will die on that hill, 10 toes down for this team. Our medical team and our behavior team, I wouldn't say that there's conflicts, but there's challenging opposition between goals. So our medical team, right, they are focused on medical, and our behavior team is focused on behavior. So when you put those two silos together, there can be conflicts. What medication is the dog on? What training plan is it on? How are we giving it meds? What can it eat? What can't it eat? So that was very difficult for us to navigate. With our senior leadership, we sat down, we talked about it, and we determined um, what diagnosis were appropriate for playgroup. So URI is one of our main groups that we hit. Our medical team fully supports it because it helps the dogs, right? They're getting air into their lungs. We have a medical process, and I can put you in touch with our medical manager to get some of those SOPs. But we do have a medical process to determine what the illness is and if it can go out with another pet. So usually our URI rooms are coming out together. Like I said, if your dogs have ringworm and it's a similar strain, they can come out together. Our medical yards are run either in a specific medical yard that has turf that we can sanitize, or our last yard of the day if we're using one of our main yards. We will take the dogs out, they will play, we will sanitize the yard. Our medical team does wear their PPEs. So we have booties, we have gloves, we have robes. But yeah, our medical dogs get out just like any of the other dogs. We've had, I wish I put Chucky's video in here. His leg is all like turned sideways. Doesn't hurt him, but he was out there romping with the 6, 7, 8 dogs. Dogs that are coming off of FHO, they might start with a small group doing their recovery, like a gentle and dainty senior group. So we really work closely with our medical team. Lulu even talked about cage rest. It's like 2 years ago, but I created a document for dogs that were on cage rest. Like, what can we do with those dogs so that they don't have to just be in their kennel all day, or how we can enrich them. So yeah, did that answer your question? I got a little excited there. Okay.
I saw a thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you. I think we have time for maybe one more. What kind of muzzle do you use, and how do you train a dog to wear the muzzle?
So we use the basket muzzles, and we've kind of amped up our playgroup area outside with all of our tools, all different types of sizes of muzzles and stuff like that. We found that the basket muzzle is obviously the most comfortable. It's not super snug on the dog or anything like that. Our training team loves to get the dogs used to having the muzzle on. So that's one of the challenges that we've faced between departments, so like training and animal care. Some of us are like, let's get the muzzle on, let's get it going. But we also understand why training wants to, desensitize the dog to the muzzle so that it's a more positive experience. Blossom was, for example, super food motivated. If you gave her like frozen water as a treat, she'd take it. She would think it was the best treat ever. Excuse me. So she was super easy to muzzle train, put it on by herself. And the only time she would get a little like, if she would get bored outside in the yard or like distracted, she would try to take it off, but easily corrected. Whisper sort of froze for a bit. So she was also dealing with some dietary issues at the time. So we were having to figure out what other types of treats we could give her, which turned out to be marshmallows, which was random. So we were buying marshmallows for Whisper to muzzle train her and all of that. So yeah, lots of food. Luckily, both of them were food motivated, one more so than the other. But yeah, definitely taking time to desensitize the animal to the muzzle, but also making sure that we're not taking too long to where it is keeping the dogs from going outside.
Perfect. Well, thank you both so much for this discussion and for joining us today. And of course, our panelists will be available on Maddie's Pet Forum throughout the week to continue the discussion. So feel free to post more questions there also.
Yes, thank you so much. We do have a question to leave you all with today. So if you wouldn't mind answering on the forum or just reflecting on it, which program are you ready to trial at your organization? I know we already saw some nice ideas in the chat, so feel free to go share those on Maddie's Pet Forum. Thank you so much, Shonyae and Lulu. This was a really important conversation and a lot that I know I'll take away with some of the organizations that I collaborate with and share some of this information. And thank you so much, Miguel, for co-hosting with me. I can't wait to be back with you next week, where we have a conversation with Michael Clark on the money mindset for animal organizations. So hope to see you all there. And if you're interested in hosting, or if you have any speakers or topics you'd like to hear from, please continue sharing those on Maddie's Pet Forum. But thank you all and happy 2026.
Thank you. So excited.
Thank you.
Bye.